Hello, and welcome back. I thought it would be kinda nice to look a bit into the past today and look at some really early videos of Aion when it still was in the closed beta and then in the open beta. Now, two things before we start. The timestamps will be in the description if you want to skip certain parts. And since these videos will be very old, the quality will be pretty bad. But I still think that it would be fun to take a look, so let's start. For the start of the closed beta, they made many little promotion videos. Let's take a look at the first one. But be warned, it is 144p and it is from the official Aion YouTube channel. So yeah. Here we simply saw the regular start in Poeta, the Poeta campaign scene from Karamatis, and the Ascension ceremony at the end. In the second promotion video, they focus on the character creation. And I gotta say, this character creation was insane back then. But let's now see the E3 promotion in 2007.
Aion, the Tower of Eternity.
Did you see those wings? They actually look really cool. Also the climbing that got never introduced into the game. And there were more jump puzzles planned which also were not really present in Aion when it released. Also released in 2007 was the video for G-Star, which shows a bit more action in the Abyss. There are multiple things that I want to point out. Number one, the abyss looks kinda cool with these pillars, and not only the shaven off kinda plain rock formations we actually have in the abyss now. Number two, they used Karamatis here as the place where the video happens. So basically it is an early rendition of the dream intro that we now have on the Elyos side. Number three, those giant creatures were actually flying around in the abyss, and I wish they would have kept that in the game. Let's now take a look at how the classes were introduced. Did you see the assassin and sorcerer skills? Those looked really nice. And no, they're not in the game. The Spirit Master being able to summon different creatures was also a cool idea that sadly never came to be. But now let's actually go through the steps that you would go through to start playing the game. And what is the first thing you saw when you opened Aion in the past? Exactly, the login screen. And this login screen you see here was from the closed beta of Aion. Honestly, the login screen was pretty nice, even back then it looked amazing. The next step is creating our character, which I also have a video for.
최선을 다하겠습니다. 최선을 다하겠습니다.
I mean, for 2008, that was pretty good. But I know that there are many people out there that spent ages in the character creator, and they couldn't even imagine living with something like this. With the character created, the first thing you see now is the beginning intro for the Elyos side.
우리지. 꿈인가?
깨어나세요.
누구?
예언서의 주인이시여, 깨어나세요.
난 이거 목소리인데.
어서 깨어나세요.
It is not that different than what we actually got later on. The only thing that is missing here is the dream from Karamatas. And now let's see how the game looked back then in the closed beta. And don't forget the early version of the raid boss in Eltnan. And here we already moved to the open beta. The first thing we take a look at was the open beta teaser.
Aion, the Tower of Eternity.
Honestly, not much to say there, but the next one is the open beta in-game teaser, and that is indeed a nostalgia trip for everyone. Even here in the open beta, they showed the underwater battles that got later again teased with the Aion Vision trailer a few years later. And yeah, they never came to be. And the one thing at the end there is that they already in the open beta teasered the petroglyphs. And even now, more than 15 years later, the petroglyphs still play a big role in Aion and have also been teasered with the new Aion 2 trailer. It is interesting to see how many things like these big stone creatures stay interesting and compelling for so many years. Okay, now the last thing I want to show you is the open beta cinematic for Aion. It is something that most people probably already know, but we can't leave that out, and it is really well made. Anyway, we will leave this video here. It has been a lot of fun for me to look up these old videos and do some research for this. Seeing what players back then really celebrated and really bonded over. It gives a nice little nostalgia kick. So thank you all for watching and hope to see you next time as well. There is much more old Aion stuff that we could check out. If you want me to do another one of these, let me know in the comments. There is one more video I will play as an outro this time. But that's it for me. Have a nice week and see you next time. Bye.
깨어나세요.